Hey everyone, Eurogamer Denmark. This is LittleBigPlanet 3. I'm really excited for you to play it November the 26th. So I guess immediately, obviously we've got the new characters. So we've got 3 new characters that join Sackboy on his adventure. Oddsock, Spoop and Toggle. And these guys are cool because they offer up some new gameplay variety. So when you're playing with them in the story mode, their levels are completely different. They feel completely different, and they're great in create mode as well. So you can take these characters in create mode, and you can build with them for them. And they're cool because they offer up a really simple new way for creators to generate new content. So the way they control their abilities, they're different to Sackboy. So when you're designing a level, you kind of approach it in a different way to what you would a Sackboy level, which is really empowering, I suppose. We've also got more layers. So what that means is you've got more kind of depth to play with, more play space. In play mode, that's allowed us to do some really cool stuff with the level layout. So the levels weave in and out of the screen. It feels like you're on this really interesting journey. And the environments themselves as well, because we can build it much deeper, we can kind of build these really immersive kind of spaces that feel like you're in like an old house or an old cooker or whatever, and they feel like proper places. It's also allowed us to do some really cool stuff with other genres. So like, because we give you the ability to move things smoothly in and out of those layers, it opens up like more interesting top down. We've had people in the closed beta create some 3D kind of action adventure games with proper 3D character controls. We've also added a lot to the create mode. So you're getting over 60 new tools, and some of those are based around the character creation, some of them are based around the layers. There's all sorts of nifty little new gadgets, like you can now build power-ups for Sackboy, which is quite cool. You can attach this thing called a blaster handle to anything you want, and it becomes a power-up for Sackboy. And Sackboy himself as well, he's changed as well in LBP3. His controls, they've been completely overhauled. So hopefully he's less floaty, he's more controllable, and you'll feel that when you get to grips with him. He can climb now as well, which is a cool little ability for navigating through levels. He's also got a sack pocket, so he can, as you're playing through the power-ups you collect, they'll get added to this inventory, and you'll get to keep them and then use them in later levels, and indeed levels you've already visited. So you get some cool kind of almost like Metroid style, Zelda style exploration out of that. We also got quests as well. So building upon the idea that the experience is a little bit more adventure-y, you'll get these quests which will get you rewards, and they'll kind of lead you to these random little objectives throughout as you're playing the story mode. I think we've brought a lot of fresh ideas. I mean, obviously it's a new team, and the team itself is comprised of a lot of people who've worked on LBP before. So we hired the top 10 community creators when we started out. I myself have been working on LBP since LBP 1 in various guises. So all these people have kind of had all these ideas kind of bubbling over, and then to have the opportunity to be able to then realise those ideas, that's really exciting, really. And yeah, I think it has got a unique, it's definitely a unique take on it in terms of the structure and the more adventure aspects. But yeah, I think the main thing, like I said, is just those fresh injection of like kind of different things that maybe people wouldn't necessarily expect. I mean, gameplay is definitely king. So if we add a new tool to the create mode, then it has to offer you opportunities, and the gameplay that comes with it has to feel really good, because we don't want to you're not going to build levels based around a tool that doesn't feel great in the day, or gameplay around a character that doesn't feel great. So that's definitely at the forefront. Obviously you get the story mode, which is we always say it's kind of like a benchmark example of here's the stuff you can do with the tool. So the entire story mode is built from the ground up with the tools that you get given on the disc. So if you had the time, you could go and build that again if you wanted, or again, you could go and do all the crazy stuff with it. But yeah, I mean, LBP is bigger than just a story mode. It is the creation, it's community, it's being able to share my cool little, be it a level or little kind of creation I've made that maybe uses the tools in a bit of a quirky way with like my friends, and sharing that knowledge, and then kind of it's all about that really. So I think Netflix is great because it's a very visual interface, and that's great. I think that's a really good fit for LittleBigPlanet as well, because you don't want to be trawling through a list, because it's not fun. It's not fun, and you don't really know what you're looking at. It's so abstracted away from the actual level that making it more visual immediately makes is a better sell, and it's a better experience, and because of that, I think you can find you're more compelled to look through it. So it is actually enjoyable to like just browse. The trailer side as well, so you can now attach video trailers to your levels on PlayStation 4. And again, I think that's a great kind of promotional tool. So if you built a really cool level and you want people to come and play it, then you're going to put a little bit of effort into making sure your trailer stands out and kind of entices people to play it. I think that's great. And the other side as well, that the community side as well, which is again is riffing a little bit off Netflix, is the idea of how it sorts and presents what it presents to you. So if one of your friends hearts something, like something, then it might get recommended for you. And that side's all server driven as well. So if we find people want kind of say they're looking for different requirements out of it, so with, say for example, people are always looking for oddset levels, then we can always kind of, these are the best oddset levels, and we can update it like that. So it's a live service as well. I don't think it's a reaction to it. I think it's a really unique alternative. So I think LittleBigPlanet's all about variety, and kind of it has a very unique ethos. The kind of, it's quite a friendly game. All the kind of the community is very friendly, and the whole idea of playing, creating, and sharing is still quite unique. I know more and more games are probably doing it nowadays than what they used when LBP1 launched, but that whole kind of the big idea of LBP, the democratization of game development, I think is quite a cool thing. I think to me, I don't see it as a reaction to it. I think it's just an alternative, I guess. So we've had a closed beta, which closed 2 weeks ago, I think, and yeah, we've got some really cool stuff out of it. So people have been doing a lot with the layers, and the ability to move objects in and out of the layers in a smooth fashion has proven to be quite a big hit, because now you can create 3D action adventure games. Someone did almost like a Resident Evil style, proper 3D character control with the cameras from Resident Evil and everything, and it's very flexible. But obviously, there's certain knowledge that you need. So if you're an entry-level creator, then genres, you're probably going to be limited to more platforming stuff. So that's why the new characters are great, because they give you instantly different platforming experiences without having to kind of get into the complicated tools. Whereas if you wanted to build, say for example, a complicated top-down experience, then you do need a little bit more knowledge of the tool set. But yeah, you can do a lot with it. Yeah, definitely. In create mode, we use the touchpad, so you can paint stickers and you can draw materials. One cool new feature we've added is the interactive live stream sensor, and that allows creators to build levels that hook into the interactive live streams, and they can give them their own keywords, and they can drive logic from that. So you could potentially do whatever you want and get the audience to drive the level, if that makes sense. So you could create a Twitch plays LBP using a sat bot and this little chip, and giving it commands and then hooking them up to the relevant that kind of things that move the sat bot around. So you could do that, or the imagination is kind of the only limit with that. I think it's going to be really cool. I guess it varies from person to person. I think people like to express themselves and then share their creativity and their expressions with other people. And some of that might be showing off, like I can do this, look, why don't you try this is cool, and it's getting that recognition. So I think it depends on the person, I would say. I think some people do just do it because it's the same reason why people like to write books or indeed like make their own little movies or whatever. It's kind of, this is an idea I've had that I really want people to kind of experience, and I think it's cool, and hopefully you will. And some people, I can do this really cool thing and I want you to kind of appreciate me for doing it, I suppose. I think there's quite a few different reasons why people engage with that.